Who are you to not be amazing? Who are you to not go big? Let's go big with this art theory that Van Gogh's Starry Night is heavily influenced by, even modeled after, Hokusai's Great Wave off Kanagawa. In the 19th century, trade opened up between Europe and Japan, and the flat, stylized art of the likes of Katsushika Hokusai with his woodcuts of the Japanese countryside made their way into the influence of the avant-garde painters of the time. Van Gogh was particularly influenced to the point that when he moved to the southern French countryside, it was because he was trying to find his own little slice of what he perceived as Japanese, only in France. He made several replicas of the Japanese works he was exposed to, and it was no doubt a heavy influence on his work, but his most famous painting may have been modeled after Hokusai's most famous woodcut, produced about 40 years before it. Here are the two images side by side. Clearly the two are totally different subject matter, but both represent their immediate surroundings. Van Gogh didn't have the sea or a landmark like Mount Fuji, so he reinterpreted the composition to his own surroundings and made it very much his own. First, let's look at the two central features of the compositions, the large wave and the large gust of wind. Both elements make the same motion throughout the scene, coming in from the left side and curling at the center of the piece. Both present a dynamic force of nature caught in a split-second moment of time. It's how both pieces convey a sense of powerful movement. The taller section of Van Gogh's cypress tree gives us something solid to add more depth and contrast in the way Hokusai has a boat jutting up the wave. The smaller portion of the cypress tree also provides a compositional similarity to the smaller wave in Hokusai's piece. These elements together bring the overall shape of the composition and make the similarities even more apparent. The human elements, the boat, and town are placed in the same place in both pieces. Both are shown as tiny under the enormity of nature and emphasize the smallness and fragility of our existence. In both works, there's a lighter haziness between the horizon line and open sky. The rolling haystacks bear a slight similarity to the curling sea foam. At the center of both pieces, underneath the break of the wave and the wind, respectively, you find Mount Fuji and the church. Both elements are placed at the same location compositionally and jut up from the otherwise curvature of the overall shape. Like the church, Mount Fuji is held as a sacred place, a place of worship, which adds just another layer of depth to the parallel nature of these two works. Finally, the crescent moon. From the room Van Gogh held at the asylum in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence, he would have noticed the sky and Venus and stars. While the entirety of the painting is a composite of imagined elements, he may have taken additional inspiration in his actual view of the night sky, although he painted during the day. In the Great Wave, the haze of the fog meeting the open sky forms a sort of crescent, which would have naturally lent its lightness to the moon in the scene of a night sky. So what do you think? Do you see the parallels between the two? Before you jump off, here's a few of my own local artists that I enjoy following. And if you enjoyed this video, give a like, subscribe, all that jazz. We'll see you next time.